So Blizzard is now awarding a Medal of Conquest for healing solo shuffles. These Medal of Conquest give you about 30 conquests, which is the equivalent to a arena skirmish daily win. This is all in hopes to get people to continue healing solo shuffle and get non-healers to try giving solo shuffle a chance. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving my own reasons for why I think healer participation is so low in solo shuffle. So if you agree with what I say, or you want to chuck in your own thoughts, and of course leave in the comment section below, like the video, and maybe even consider subscribing, because I need it. So healing in general has been pretty stale for many expansions now, and I could make an hour-long video talking about the more complex reasons for why people just don't want to heal in general, not really specific towards solo shuffle, just the overall healer population. But that mostly has to do with more player-based issues, healing being more complex learning, healing you need a new mental for it, people are big, people are people have no balls, stuff like that. But again, that's more of a long in-depth video. So I'm going to give you a reason that everyone, no matter the DPS, no matter the healer, can all agree on. That's simply the fact that healing is just simply not fun to do right now. Now, this involves multiple aspects of PvP, like for example, the meta. BFA, people weren't happy to heal because the game was super damn slow. People weren't happy to heal in Shadowlands because the game was too fast. And now, the meta is interesting. We haven't had like a good meta where more than half the player base is happy, I guess. But the main reason why people don't want to heal is just because, again, the healing classes themselves, the 6 healing classes or however many healing classes there are in the game, just simply are not fun and engaging and interactive enough to play. This comes from the normal same ways of healing that we are normally prone to do. And we've seen reworks and different rotational kind of changes to certain like DPS classes over the past few expansions, like from Shadowlands to Dragonfly or from BFA to Shadowlands, and we haven't really seen the same for healers. Healers are just kind of like the same stagnant ways of healing. They kind of have the same rotation that they've always had, and again, it just leads to a very boring way to play. As DPS, you get to do so much more in the sense of more stuff that is fun, whereas healer, I just got to sit back and be like, okay, this is my target, I press my beacon of light on it, my holy shock him, I get a big, holy light here, and that's kind of all I get to do. We don't get to contribute to the actual pace of the game, which I think is what really kills healers' spirits and morales and souls, is that we can't contribute to the pace of the game, meaning that you've heard this multiple times from, the big names. Good healers cannot carry bad DPS, but good DPS can carry bad healers. Again, healers cannot contribute to the pace of the game at all. We just kind of sit back here and just press our healing buttons, and that's it. It's not as engaging, it's not interactive, and it's just really a big snooze fest. The only times you can actually contribute to the pace of the game just slightly is when we have to do our CC chains, and even then it's just kind of like it's just not cool enough, it's not fun enough to do. But BigTuna, I'm still kind of not buying how this is the main issue for why no one really wants to heal. Well, let me give you a bit of an example. The only time we actually saw more of an influx between healer mains and non-healers coming to heal, when we actually saw the population rise, is when Disc Priests, Fist Reavers, and even melee wings holy paladins were actually a thing in early season 1. Now, why is that? Well, it's pretty simple. All 3 of those healers were DPS healers. They were healers that did healing through damage. Melee wings makes it so your Judgment Crusader strike heal for like X percentage of the damage dealt. Disc Priest naturally has always been able to do damage and get healing through it by your atonements. And Fist Reavers nowadays is obviously a bit different because you don't have Waves of Crane, it's your Phalanx Stomp. But yes, you press your Phalanx Stomp and your Blackout kicks and your Rising Sun kicks and your Tiger's Palms and your Spinning Crane kicks will heal nearby targets or a nearby target. When those healers were top dog and when those healers started to get a bit more popularity, that's when we actually saw the real increase in population to healers and solo shuffle and just the normal arena ladder, because they were fun to play, because there's so much more interaction than just simply staying back and just pressing Holy Shock, pressing Healing Surge, pressing Living Flame. Now, when I say contribute to the pace of the game, I don't mean healers dealing the same amount of damage as DPS or DPS dealing the same amount of healing as healers. No, what I mean is healers having an actual offensive rotation. Doesn't necessarily have to hit for 100 damn K. Like, I don't think anybody wants that. No, just have healers, being able to have like a simple offensive rotation, not just damaging spells, but spells that can do damage and also interact with the way they heal. Like again, Disc Priest is the perfect example. Disc Priest was meant to be the DPS healer. It wasn't meant to be just a standard ordinary healer, sit back and press this one heal and that's all you get to do. No, you were meant to be a damage healer. Put up your dots and heal through your atonement. Whenever you do damage, targets with atonement will get healed for it. Because when nothing's happening in the game, again, like I said, we can't contribute to the pace of the game. We have to literally just put all our chips on our DPS to win the game. Hopefully you guys know how to press your buttons. Hopefully you guys know how to make my life easier by not playing like a dumbass, all right? That's all we hope for, and again, we just hope that you can kill the enemy team and make it least stressful as possible. We cannot influence that pace at all. We cannot influence that little timeline at all. We just have to sit back and just constantly heal you. That's all we get to do. But there are moments and times when, again, literally nothing's happening in the game. DPS is just not flying through on either side. No one's really losing HP, and it's just nothing really to do. So what could I do? I could press Judgment, I could press Holy Shock, I could press, maybe Hammer of Wrath. But those are only like specific times where right now where I'm talking about, again, actually having a specified offensive rotation to actually contribute rather than just DPS buttons to be there just to be there. Now making, every healer or most healers, having the offensive capabilities, because let me tell you, there's one healer in all of creation that no one will play, no DPS who's trying to learn, no healer main will ever play unless it is disgustingly OP. That is Resto Druid. Resto Druid is the only healer that has negatory offense. All right, no one will play that. So knowing the fact that, healers that can contribute to the pace of the game have shown to be, have a higher increase in healer population. Knowing that, is Blizzard making, every healer, have that bit of offensive potential? Is that going to fix, solo shuffle queues? Is that going to fix just normal, healer participation in any bracket? Yes and no. It makes healer mains happy because healer mains don't have to rip out their hair every time they log on a healer, and it gives DPS, a chance to, have fun while learning to heal. It's still going to have the normal downsides of, again, just playing a healer in general, which is, again, learning an entirely new way to play, having the different mental to heal compared to when you're DPSing. There are still just normal healer, healer downsides, or not healer downsides, but again, healer issues that you're going to run into, but that's just how life goes on. But Nathan, why is this DPS, DPS mentality and DPS, interaction so important to you as a healer? You're a healer. Well, let me tell you a little thing. Once upon a time, everyone was once a DPS player. You will learn to cast Lightning Bolt before you learn to cast Healing Surge. Much like when you join the military, before you become a diesel mechanic, before you become a technician, whatever you want to be, you will learn to kill somebody. You will learn to shoot a rifle before you will learn to bandage somebody. And that's the same thing with WoW. Everyone has DPS roots. Healers love it. You can see the, healer's face light up when we say, oh, I got some big damage, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, we're healers, we're not supposed to say we have big damage. In reality, it's not big damage. It's just damage that we can do. It's just a fun interaction. But I also want to talk about the incentives that Blizzard is trying to implement to get, non-healers to heal solo shuffle and main healers to continue healing solo shuffle. That is the Medal of Conquest. The Medal of Conquest is a little medallion that is just like the Medal of Honors. You get 150 honor from the little medals that drop every 1 in 40 boxes. Yes, you get Medal of Conquest now for healing solo shuffle. Not now, I don't know when it's going to be implemented, but basically it's going to give you 30 conquest. That is the amount that you get from a arena skirmish win. This is their idea of, this is their way to get people to heal solo shuffle. And yes, you guessed it, it's a very poor way of going about it. Incentives do not matter unless the core root of the problem is fixed, and that is making healers just more engaging, more fun to play. It doesn't matter if the incentives is 1 million alpacas and Johnny Depp starring in another Caribbean movie. If the healers are not fun to play and the healers are not actively engaging enough to want healer mains to continue healing and want people to try healing, to give it a go, then incentives are not going to matter. It's just going to be a waste of thought. And not only that, the actual incentive that you guys are trying to put in to, want us to continue healing and try and get people to heal is just complete garbage. 30 conquests that most likely is going to be a 1 in 20 drop chance within these field medic boxes is just complete garbage. Because when you think of incentives, you have to think of a way that's going to make it so, the actual role that is showing the least participation in this bracket can get a little extra something something without obviously being too greedy. Because if you give healers like, hey, you know what, healers get a token that you can buy, let's just say Blizzard makes it so the incentive is they give us tokens that allow us to buy transmogs that you can't normally get anymore, alright? That would be a bit too much like, wow, that is like, okay, why would I ever play DPS now, alright? So you kind of have to think of an incentive that is, obviously very rewarding towards the population that is lower within these brackets, but also make it so it's not just, too over the moon that the fact that, the other roles within the bracket are just kind of seen as throwaways. Again, people have basic ideas, stuff like, again, gold. Everyone needs gold. All everyone does is buy WoW tokens. I don't think anyone actually does farm for gold anymore. I think people just literally, farm Arcanite Reaver plans for no reason and put on the auction house for 130k gold when they can literally just make an heirloom and get the mog. Like, I don't, no one really farms gold anymore. So people need gold. All right, and a nice little chunk of change for, working my ass off in solo shuffle wouldn't be too bad. Because ultimately we want to get healers to heal solo shuffle. We want to get healer mains to continue healing solo shuffle and people to give healing solo shuffle a go. Why? Because again, solo shuffle is the most innovative game mode we've had in a while. And everyone wants to play it. People will literally ditch your threes games just to continue playing solo shuffle. People have spent so many hours already grinding into solo shuffle. Why? Because it's a fun game mode. You obviously have, certain interactions that don't go as planned. Again, you meet some toxic players. They message you after the game calling you an inbred fuckwit. Like, there are some interactions like that. Okay, cool. That's more of a community-based toxicity issue. But the game mode itself is really fun. So when people have to face, stuff like long queue times or just feel like, the time and what they're doing within this game mode doesn't really matter. Like, for example, we've had so many MMR issues. Healers just got like 2 points for going 6-0 and lost 50 points for going 3-3. Like, that was a really big like pain in the arse. And on the topic of, time and investment in solo shuffle, this is off topic completely from the purpose of the video. I kind of wish that solo shuffle was its kind of own mode. I don't necessarily like it being a kind of ladder based game mode. Why? Because solo shuffle is too fun to be a sweaty kind of, environment like 2v2 or 3v3s. The amount of time people invest in solo shuffle, which is literally double the amount of time that people would spend queuing 3s and 2s, I wish there was a progressive kind of base reward system for solo shuffle. It would kind of work like the seasonal rewards. You win X amount of games above, let's say 1400 or whatever rating suits Blizzard, and you can work towards getting certain rewards, or maybe it'll be kind of like a mega strong box, win 5 games above 1400 and you get a mega strong box. These mega strong boxes have a bit of uniqueness to them, not necessarily different rewards, but more unique rewards than what we're constantly seeing. Like, let's say I'm playing a paladin and I get my mega strong box and I open up my crate. I have a chance to get a cosmetic item, a back bling item. That back bling is a nice open tome, maybe the tome of the silver hand. I don't know, tomes were always really cool, and I kind of wish we had more back blings like we did in Shadowlands with the the Covenant stuff. I kind of wish we had more back blings that worked like that instead of just normal capes and whatnot. A paladin tome would be pretty cool. Maybe we could see some different unique stuff, like for example, mount trails. All right, maybe these strong boxes can have mount trails. Whenever you hop on a mount, your mount can leave a trail of fire or rainbows or ice or water or something. But yes, back to the main topic of the video. Again, healing solo shuffle, it's just a participation is low. Really looking at each healer and making it so they are fun and interactive to play. For example, in 10.1.5 we are going to get the rework of Holy Paladins. I think this was just an amazing thing. I love Holy Paladins. Holy Paladins currently are the least played healer. Why? Because they're just utterly trash. So Holy Paladins are getting a rework, a full rework. It's going to be like a Shadowlands BFA hybrid of just fully stacking into this glimmer type world. Glimmer of light is going to be our main way to heal, our main way to do damage, and the entirety of Holy Paladin is being reworked. I think that's great, and hopefully, which we should see a big influx in Holy Paladin population, because guess what? Holy Paladin is going to contribute more to damage than just simply how it is now. And healers that contribute more to damage, contribute more to the pace of the game, we see a higher population to them. Why? Because they're healers that stand out. So that's kind of my thoughts on, you know, on a reason. There are more reasons, but that's kind of the reason I want to focus on for why I think people don't want to heal solo shuffle. And if you agree with anything I say, and of course you want to throw in your own thoughts on why you think healer participation is so low and what you guys will, you know, would want to see to get you to want to heal solo shuffle, then of course leave in the comment section below, like the video, and maybe even consider subscribing. But guys, hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next life. May the Earth Mother watch over you. Peace.